Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Selamat datang sekali lagi ke podcast
Oh ya ke.
Yang mana pas
Ini confirm untuk penyanyi-penyanyi kan. Memang dia dengar memang cakap sumbang bro. Memang tak boleh bro. Memang tak boleh. Dia belakang boleh dengar bro.
Aku sebagai seorang penyanyi yang dulu malu juga dengan diri aku sendiri. Tapi tak apa, sebab kita hari ni ada penyanyi yang ada bersama kita. Kita asyik bawa penyanyi je, tapi this time penyanyi gini memang
betul-betul penyanyi.
Sah, confirm. Hebat.
Sah. Dia macam ada clue je sah tu.
Dia sah, hebat. Kita introduce lah. Selamat datang
Sufi Rashid. Nampak?
Cabut.
Mati-mati dah juga. Tak boleh.
Lain. Dia dah kau masih
Masuk.
Apa khabar?
Baik, alhamdulillah. Aku macam dah lama tak pegang mic macam ni kan. So dia macam panjang ni macam pendek sikit lah.
Pendek sikit okey.
Jadi dengar. Dia biasa kalau menang award baru ada macam gini apa yang dapat award.
Ada kat situ ada banyak. Ada 6. Aku dah nampak 6 bawah lagi jangan cakap lah kan. Tengok macam-macam. Aku belum lagi.
Tu primary school punya bawah.
Aku dapat satu je dalam hidup aku.
Betul lah, kau ambil satu lah. Anggap lah pemberian.
Aku tukar nama je nanti lah.
Kau sekarang kan ada service engrave.
Yes. Tapi betul. Aku back then sebagai penyanyi, anugerah Planet Music tu nak menang tu memang something yang gah tau.
Yep.
I think as every singer that time. Sekarang orang dah tak kisah sangat.
Sekarang memang dah
habis dah.
Khalas. Sadaqallahul azim.
But back then sebagai seorang penyanyi tu kau nak dapat award anugerah Planet Music tu penyanyi paling popular ni semua kan. Kau akan nominated je. Aku tak pernah nominated. That's why aku berhenti nyanyi. Tak lah.
Okay.
Tapi betul tu. I mean, aku pun that time memang I think aku dengan kau dengan siapa dengan siapa member kita? Kita the same era kan. Same era. Audio note semua kan.
Yes.
So aku macam alamak diorang undian banyak saya. Ada aku macam message aku punya superiors. Diorang undi tekan. Unlimited apa votes tak ada limit kan. Online kan. So tekan. Aku pun tekan vote sendiri.
Of course.
This is good.
Of course.
Tapi kalau bila menang orang tanya undian paling banyak. Betul, saya memang
alhamdulillah.
Tapi back in my head aku tekan.
Bangun je tengok nombor.
Betul.
Memang betul dulu masa ada macam Singa Maxima. All this macam awards pun. Dia bukan awards pun, pasal tapi carta. So kau really nak benda tu. And Sufi, I've seen Sufi punya journey music dia daripada tiada berganti. Nyanyi sikit.
Tiada pengganti. Bukan lah.
Boleh lah.
Boleh lah.
Bukan tu suara dia masih boy. Suara dia akan macam beneran budak kecil sikit. Sayangku.
Okay.
Because then kau nak buat lagu, kau mesti nak ada music video. Music video nak kena ada chicks. Cerita dia nak kena kejar-kejar, lari-lari semua.
Tapi tu aku tak tahu apa aku fikir bila aku tengok balik aku ni music video. Apa aku pakai tu? Dengan aku punya apa ada macam dia aksesori.
Tapi tu wasap trend. Yang benda warna putih tu dia macam tapi dia bukan jam.
Tak, rambut kena pacak. Rambut kena pacak. Dia macam jam, strap tapi tak ada jam.
Okay.
Kau tahu tak?
Tak tahu lah. Tapi okey lah. Faham.
Tak apa. Dia
faham.
lain sikit.
Faham.
Kita nak terjah sikit lah tanya Sufi Rashid. Because Sufi sebagai pemenang Akademi Fantasia daripada Singapore. Congratulations. Benda dah lama tapi congratulations. Aku rasa aku tak pernah congratulate kau.
Aku rasa ni first time soalnya message kan ni
face to face lah.
So thank you so much
on the win. And kita I think kita sebagai seorang Singapore pun kita bangga lah benda competition yang you know across.
Betul.
Kita bangga sangat.
Kata kalau macam word the street word kan, apa kau punya perangai sekarang? Staggery. Tak lah. Sedih. Aduh. Kita this is something that actually I want to ask sebab I have seen it but I haven't asked you regarding this story. Sebab aku what aku heard lah, this is chatter. You know lah, of course kita sebagai netizen, aku pun biasa tu bobo pasal orang tak ada netizen. Sebab orang kata bila kau dah menang AF tu, duit yang kau dapat tu engkau ban dekat kedai tulang merah.
Betul.
Betul. And then kedai tu dibakar ke terbakar.
Wallahualam. Sampai sekarang tak tahu. Tapi dia tak ada logik lah.
Cerita macam how the process happen actually.
Okay, so aku of course aku memang before aku menang AF, I mean I'm a person yang akan plan ahead lah.
Yep.
Because aku kerja bank. So that was what being taught to me. We like to plan ahead. Kan Singapore kan systematic, we are taught that way. So bila dah menang, aku tahu the money will come in like 3 to 6 months later.
Right.
So of course aku pun fikir okay, I got that extra money, 50,000 ringgit, like what can I do with it lah. So aku memang ada kata impian juga untuk buka kedai dari dulu lah, sebab mak aku memang dulu ada dia buka kedai, dia own kedai dekat Sembawang, jual nasi padang. So aku thought of doing the same thing lah. So aku buka lah di Tulang Merah dengan a few partners and all. Then I think kita dah apply, kira kan dah orang kata dah register for that fire insurance. So I think just like 2 days before 2 days before the incident, tapi belum lagi finalize lah, belum dapat the insurance. Dan aku ingat satu pagi aku dapat call from one of my partner lah, yang kedai terbakar. Aku ingat dia main-main. Aku macam apa benda terbakar kan. Kedai terbakar.
Because kedai belum operate.
Dah operate lah. I think after couple of months, 3 months baru lagi. So aku macam apa yang terbakar kan. So aku bangun-bangun, dia hantar gambar. Memang
Habis.
The whole shop katanya lintas-pintas, or I mean electrical shop, but it doesn't make sense because I mean it's not so much of an electrical works of that shop pun. I mean kita basically focus on makanan-makanan macam yalah Tulang Merah, macam mie or this thing. So it doesn't make sense, and unfortunately memang kata malang tak bau lah. And insurance aku pun tak dapat lagi. So memang that was that bad lah. So the whole repair cost about 40,000 ringgit. So literally that duit menang tu macam duit repair lah. Habis lah. So it was macam aku punya one of those bad moments lah. Tapi aku anggap tak ada rezeki. Just move on. But then it lasted for like about a year lah, because it was tough. It was tough to actually operate a F&B store atau kedai makan dekat Malaysia, lagi-lagi bila kita bukan warga sini, datang baru lagi dekat Malaysia. So aku tak faham sangat the
whole system lah.
The whole system. So it's different. So aku decided to shut it down lah kan. Tapi alhamdulillah, nak kata rugi tu dia taklah rabak. Memang kata ramai lagi-lagi.
Tapi pada back then tu rabak lah pada engkau.
Yang paling rabak sakit bila kena bakar, bila terbakar lah. So aku move on, I have to move on. So from there then dah tutup kedai semua, then just carry on, focus on my career.
Tapi that time dia punya sambutan dia macam mana?
Sambutan was good, alhamdulillah. Especially over the weekends. Sebab aku banyak customers daripada Singapore semua. Tapi of course it's trend. It's a trend. You don't you cannot expect macam the queue will be there like every day forever. Dia macam virus kejap, keluar berita Sufi ada kedai Tulang Merah, then orang datang, Singapore datang support, fans coming in. Tapi it don't last long, So in overall, honestly it's not really making money in business, money making business. But alhamdulillah tak adalah seteruk-teruk macam sampai duit aku habis. Alhamdulillah aku ada show that time pun aku bermenang, so memang
masih
job pun banyak. I was like the ambassador for Singtel, all this thing. So adalah, Then aku ingat lagi 2016 aku dah start buat event, event CC semua. Asah Entertainment lah started from there lah. Asah tu actually is me and Ain lah, Sufi, Ain, Hitch. Dan kita tunang. So we just had that hashtag.
So
aku just use that name as a company name lah. Kalau nak letak Sufi Rashid Entertainment macam klise kan. Aku thought back, aku memang dah mula I thought of just low key. Macam certain things aku just don't like to share with people. Not because kita sombong, kita macam kadang-kadang lagi baik buat sesuatu yang orang tak kenal kita siapa, atau behave like a normal person.
Yes, true.
Because kalau kita buat sesuatu yang in a way when people know me, so orang akan expect tinggi tau. Sufi Rashid artis, mesti dia kena buat gempak, mesti dia kena buat ni, mesti macam it's very hard to please everybody. So the Sah Entertainment name pun kita baru like officially declared I think 2 years ago.
Right.
So people baru tahu, ni aku punya thing, That's how it started lah.
Okay. Kita sebelum jangan kita tak nak touch on the event dulu lah. Kita on kau punya live sikit dulu lah. Nanti kita aku akan ask more on stuff also. Sebab I think sebagai seorang I was a singer back then also. Sama time kita sama.
Same dengan Amir.
Amir Oli.
Yes.
Because I never get through that. Aku tak tembus lah. Aku tebuk tapi tak tembus lah kan.
Memang tak tembus.
Diam.
Dia macam apa aku nak cakap dia dah cakap kan.
Sangat kau dia je lah. So how was it? It's not easy for sure. Kan, for sure to come in someone's country, lain orang main negeri untuk menempah nama kat sini and everything. Sebab memang you win AF and everything, but I know it's of course not all butterflies and rainbows for you here.
Betul.
So bila macam bila masa COVID kan, how was it for you kat sini?
COVID.
Yes. PKP ke ni semua?
Kau buat Grab ke apa?
Almost. Aku memang terfikir of doing all those basic stuff. Sebab first of all bila aku masuk AF pun is because aku kena scam bro. Serious. Super. So aku back then aku menang SG-Minia.
Okay.
Then I won a lot of underground competitions.
Yep.
So aku thought I just want to go step ahead lah. Then aku dapat this one not email, it's a Facebook message. An imposter lah.
Scam me.
Sumpah. So he claims that he's from Astro or this thing. And he said that if I'm interested to join AF, aku tak payah queue up the first round. So the first round yang paling ramai orang queue kan beratur.
Yes, true.
So aku just jump to the second one. So aku naik lah. That time aku naik Ducati, aku ingat lagi. So just imagine lah, aku first time masuk Johor dengan Pedet Panigale. Habis aku dah, that time tak ada Waze. Kita pakai Google Map. So aku lost tau, nak cari hotel tu dengan road yang macam lubang-lubang kan. So aku masuk, dah sampai sana, aku tunjuk dekat one of the crew whatever, they don't even know who this guy. Aku lupa nama dia. Aku had to join like a normal person lah. Register, aku queue lah daripada dengan helmet aku queue.
Allah.
Sumpah aku jadi macam shit. So itu that's just one of the reason why aku join, because I fell for the scam. But then along the way bila dah dapat terpilih, that is the main decision making, which is aku had to decide whether I want to take a leave or whatever, quit my job, apa-apa semua. Aku minta restu mak aku tanya lagi mak aku whether should I just proceed on, because back then aku memang told myself it's not gonna happen for me to win or whatever, because it's a Malaysia reality and it's so big back then.
We know macam
it's so big that time. I think Gegar Bergazam belum start lagi all this thing. So aku pun macam aku minta pendapat mak aku, and I just decided to join lah, because she said that we just go for just try lah kan. So dah masuk semua, then alhamdulillah aku menang. Aku tak expect, honestly it's not something you expected. And whatever that people saw me dekat diary, every Sunday whatever, I'm just being myself. But it's tough lah. Certain things, especially bila kau nak open up dengan brother-brother macam Syamil, kita kan like to say vulgarities sometimes. So itu je lah. Tapi lain-lain semua aku just be myself. Yang aku nangis memang aku rabak bro. Memang homesick rabak. Homesick rabak je.
Pasal dia I think kau tahu tak macam mana?
Akademi Fantasia tu.
Okay.
Tahu. Akademi Fantasia.
Orang literally have to stay there everything, macam
no phones,
no nothing. It's already an academy.
Sama. Aku pernah join Aksi Asia apa?
Kau tak dapat handphone juga?
So semua sana semua diorang limit everything. Then daily nanti kau nak kena berlatih
Yalah,
pagi sampai malam apa ni semua. Dan nanti on top the stage
balik hotel, not really a hotel, it's like a resident apa semua. There's no TV,
right?
No phones, no nothing. There's no way that you can communicate with your girlfriend ke your mom or your dad. No way.
Wow.
You had to win like the best performance of the week or whatever, then they will give you that.
Baru dapat?
Aku dapat persembahan terbaik 2 kali. So I had the chance to call my mom lah.
Allah.
But itu pun it was ad. It was like it's not personal.
Tak boleh macam mak kat sini macam.
So benda tu macam baik aku tak ada, baik aku tak payah, Then of course aku pun dengan Syamil, dengan Syarul, we were the kata kita memang the boys lah. Kita memang brother-brother. Malam-malam buta satu pagi kita just curi kunci dia punya hotel key dengan dia punya crew, dengan tengah tidur kita pergi 7-Eleven. You know, kita upah pakcik ni, upah makcik ni nak tengok undian. So aku punya was always leading. Syarul was always the bottom 3. Then member tu Limo. Pada idea dia nak pergi 7-Eleven, nak pergi tengok undian. Then dia call girlfriend dia, dan aku pun call girlfriend aku that time.
Kau pakai apa? Pakai public phone apa?
Pakai handphone ni lah, bayar. Bayar makcik tu 7-Eleven lah kan. Terus
kesiannya.
Rabak. Kesian aku rasa ni rabak daripada NS lah. Memang mental gila. So dia sampai so kadang-kadang kita sampai 2-3 pagi baru baliknya that resident lah kan. So memang rabak. Dan dekat dalam diary tu, kalau korang ingat ada this camera, they always talk. This besar ni kamera, macam kamera dekat theater, but it will dia macam dia pacak dekat atas tu, tapi dia akan berbual lah, tapi dia gunakan suara robot macam kartun. Yalah Sufi, aku just imagine aku ni mental jadi sampai aku nangis macam dia kata goodbye, ni kali terakhir kita sama-sama. Aku nangis bila Syamil kita macam nangis shoot for a camera. Pada production aku fikir balik, production kau gelak sah.
Betul.
Kan, but then we had nobody. We just had ourselves. Rapat bro.
That was torture bro.
That's mental torture.
But
in a good way. It was good experience. So in overall, I would say that was one of the best experience. In a way, I found myself what I could do. Aku compose Kisah Dua Muka. That song I composed for like only 2 days. Using the piano that was already there. I composed that song. So I didn't know that song hit. And I mean, I learned a lot of things lah. Macam sabar, don't judge people, make friends, just don't like you don't have to fake yourself like a shit, because at the end of the day, I think kalau niat kau baiklah, so alhamdulillah lah.
But I think that going through that also yang kasih kau rapat dengan Syamil, semua yang understand each other, sebab korang only have each other apa?
Correct. So memang that stays up to now. We are still friends, close, and I mean we have our own pathways, but we don't forget each other. Macam aku pun panggil Syamil dengan Annie kadang show dekat Singapore, aku just bring them in because we always have to support each other. Not just them. We have other. We meet along the way. We meet new friends. Macam Usup, aku dapat dengan Usup semua kan. So kita silaturahim lah. But then AF was just another thing lah. So if you ask me if I were to go through that shit again, I don't want, man. Probably back then aku umur 25 aku boleh lagi. Sekarang tak boleh tu. Rabak gila. Makan pun macam kau kena menang persembahan terbaik, then you get to choose where you want to go or what you want to eat. So for example, there's one of the week that I won. They brought me to a nice place to eat. It was at Sky Capsule. Kau tahu the dining Sky? Tak ada. So aku dapat makan sebab tapi dengan ada syarat-syarat lah. Everything will be recorded, then you had to meet like personalities. Aku jumpa Era Fazira sampai that. No, I can't remember. Tapi okay lah. It was like you are gifted with a bonus, but you just have to follow whatever that has been.
Kira macam Master Chef gitu lah. Yang Gordon Ramsay Master Chef, yang kira yang menang baru dapat yang macam all this macam good high.
Dia macam survivor tu.
Survivor.
Like senang kata that 3 months 24 hours memang kamera ada dengan kau.
Betul.
Memang kamera akan ada dengan
survivor
kau.
The only difference is diorang tak tinggal dalam island.
Kau tak tahu kat mana.
Betul juga.
Like, really kau tak tahu kat mana. So the only time yang tak ada kamera is dalam toilet lah.
Rapat sikit.
So the only time yang tak ada kamera is like toilet atau dekat hotel lah, whatever lah. Tapi kau dah
kau confirm dalam toilet tak ada?
Confirm tak ada. Aku rasa tak ada. Tapi kalau ada
sekali
kalau ada
dia tengah menyangkut. Hello Sufi.
Shoot. Tapi serius, kau dah keluar diary. Diary tu sebenarnya dekat office biasa je. Macam office. But diorang tutup pakai black drip. So bila kau buka pintu, the only thing you see is a door to the van. You don't get to see outside.
But have you ever macam question macam dorang macam what is the rationale out of it? Macam why do we have to go through this?
I think they just want us to focus on it. So imagine bila kau dapat keluar jumpa tengok KL atau Yelah, bila kau dapat menang, then dia bring you out dalam kereta keluar. Aku jadi lost. Aku dekat KL So macam it's really a mental game lah. It's really a mental game because aku study this AF. Actually they follow this concept from Russia. It's a similar game, but Russian are more open, telanjang semua everything. Like everything lah they say. They can see and whatever can say. So it's a nice experience lah. Rabak.
Amazing.
Aku rasa aku tak boleh go through macam gitu.
Aku that time aku go through that. Bila aku dah masuk top 10, aku sendiri bilang dengan orang yang handle all this thing. Cakap after this aku keluar.
Aku
cakap aku dah penat gila benda ni.
Betul.
Aku dah sampai
betul.
Lock tu.
Kau dah kahwin belum?
That time aku dah kahwin.
Lagi susah.
So dorang video bapa aku, mak aku, isteri aku ni semua. That's the only time aku boleh buat on stage.
Rabak. Yes, sama. Ada satu week tu aku nyanyi lagu Untukmu Ibu. Mak aku kat depan dekatnya audience. Aku just imagine that was after 2 months aku tak meet dia, tak dengar, and she's just there. So they brought my mom over to watch me, and I saw my mom. Aku turun bawah the stage, aku pergi kat mak aku.
Of course lah, because that's the only thing kau
can do. To me,
true.
macam it's not even aku macam I'm just gonna do that because it's my mom sia. Kamu jadi kat dia 3 bulan that time aku cakap, mak aku sweet.
If anything happens to
Diorang senyap-senyap bawa.
Diorang senyap. They know what they are doing lah. You know, but it's so bro, aku ingat lagi that week aku nyanyi lagu Untukmu Ibu, aku menangis, tak boleh fokus. Dalam hati aku macam kalau aku out pun tak apa. Tapi dah menang lagi, aku macam okay, alhamdulillah. Rezeki. So it was all natural. Well, naturally tortured.
Wow, this is
you have to go through that.
Aku memang habis lah tu, producer dah kena rem dengan aku. Sebab but again I think this shows also kenapa Allah tak kasi aku pergi benda tu.
Memang
tak sedap kau ajak producer masuk ring.
Aku went for AF ni audition.
Oh, you went lah? Serious lah?
Aku went aku pergi dengan siapa ni, there's this guy from Anugerah juga, aku lupa nama. Aidil Adi Siddiq. Aku pergi Adi Siddiq.
Which year was that?
Aisyah.
Before aku lah.
Aisyah kot.
Before aku lah.
You go tak lah. After kau.
Lepas
Aisyah dulu ke?
No, Aisyah dulu. Lepas aku is Amir Mazli menang. Dah tak lagi dah.
Dia pun pergi time aku.
Before aku.
Before aku pergi. Aku sebagai seorang tak ada experience mana pun, aku tak pernah masuk competition besar. Aku queue banyak. Aku punya cerita aku queue panjang tak apa. Lepas tu sebelum aku ni nak nyanyi, aku boleh duduk kat sini cover gini tau. Aku boleh cuy budak tu tengah nyanyi. Lagu asli. Nyanyi lagu ballad. Nyanyi lagu pop. Dia traditional, ada asli, ada apa, ada Zapin. You know this, aku cuma tahu traditional. Dalam otak aku ni traditional saja. Everything is the same. Sebab kita kat Singapore, kita tak really tahu lagu kat sini. In Malaysia itself, yes, correct. Kau akan tahu macam ada asli, ada Zapin lah, ada apa, ronggeng apa ni semua different kan. Habis budak tu dah kena perah. Aku dah macam mampus aku.
Dah lah bukan forte kau.
Aku macam tak boleh. Aku depan tu aku dah jam dah. Habis dia ada 3 lagu je boleh nyanyi. Dahsyat dengan ada 2 lagu tak tahu apa.
Oh yo.
So aku nyanyi Dahsyat. Lepas tu dia suruh aku nyanyi lagu lain. Lepas aku macam aku dah macam ini, aku dah tahu dah, you know what, aku dah want this. Because aku cannot. Aku inexperienced. Aku cuma tahu main genres macam rock, pop, ballad, jazz, this kind of genres. Aku masih boleh tank lagi. Tapi kalau kau kasi aku traditional Melayu, gua tak tahu. Habis ada random tak macam joget sekali. Aku tak.
Oh gitu
gitu.
Dia aku pernah nampak kau joget, tapi memang tak boleh make it.
Jangan. Habis Aidil pula nampak aku. Dia sidik. Dia nampak aku, dia kata, aku tengok kau dah gitu, aku pun dah tak boleh. Dia masuk, dia pun longkang juga.
Aduh.
Kita dah tunggu for hours. Kita keluar, kita just kik.
Tapi lama shoot nak beratur.
Lama.
Panjang.
I think daripada pagi aku sampai malam tu. Like malam.
Tu baru macam first round, ada second round.
Correct.
Thank you for sharing. Aku always wanted to ask you that question. Sebab pasal AF ni lah.
Kira kan kau bernasib baik yang kau tak masuk lah.
Yes.
Memang Allah Maha Adil, Allah Maha tahu. Kalau dia masuk, masuk memang
habis. Aku rasa akan keluar news yang aku rembat orang-orang.
Itu mirrors pun kau pecahkan tumbuh.
Yes. And then apart from that, bila time COVID tu ada aku soal lah bila Sufi banyak tolong orang. Sebab banjir.
Misi banjir.
So he does a lot of back end things yang dia tolong orang. Nasib baik orang tak nampak benda tu. And how was your experience bila kau dapat, kau bawa Raptor kau kan? Kau ada Raptor time kan?
Ford Ranger.
Kau bawa Ranger kau masuk ke tempat yang tengah tengah banjir
ni.
And then kau help these people. Sebab as a Singaporean, mana kita ada go through macam tu? Kita tak dapat benda tu langsung. Kita tak dapat Ford Ranger pun actually.
Ada tapi mahal lah.
Ada kan. So aku just want to hear sikit of kau punya experience tu sebagai, is it your first time humanitarian?
Yeah, of course.
Kan?
And dekat Singapura tak ada banjir.
Technically self-funded.
Apanya?
Self-funded, correct.
Self-funded.
Wow.
Dia siapkan boat semua kan?
Yeah, so aku back then memang COVID, straight cut memang we got no job. So the time was a lot more. Like you can do a lot more things. Literally nothing pun, tapi time wasting lah. Macam you don't really have much activities, and it was bad. The weather was bad. And aku Ford Ranger tu aku ingat lagi aku baru beli. It's like one of my dream truck juga lah kan.
Ours.
Yeah. So aku I told myself, aku dengan Ain, we felt really bad. Macam these people needed help. And to go through that that pathway, macam that journey, you need the truck. You cannot go by normal car because you need something very high. Then aku ada bekalan dalam RM1,500 lah. I mean, I don't really have a lot of money. So that was like the least I can really do. So aku bawa team aku. I mean, not my team lah, my PA, my staff, also adik pada Ain, my wife, then Ain of course. Kita pergi the nearest one dekat area sini. Dekat Jelebu, the nearest one.
Jelebu yang LRT station tu.
Bukan.
Jelebu.
So apa tu, aku lupa Jelebu apa lupa. So we went and it was almost inaccessible. Pokok tumbang semua. Like aku was like shit. There's just no way to turning back because it's a narrow road. If you want to turn back, you just need to you only can reverse the truck, and that's it. Reverse pun macam kalau kau jatuh.
Yes.
Sebab dia pokok tumbang dah lah, banjir dengan rempuh je lah. Aku rempuh, I tell you, aku not kind of person who cry. I cannot really cry. Not to say I'm not sensitive, sebab aku pun datang from a very hard background juga. So I think aku dah kering lah. So I was like crying. It was so bad, bro. Rumah hancur semua, rumah kena shift balik. Rabak lah. Aku nampak kita selalu nampak dekat CNA, kan, dekat berita. And ni aku nampak depan siut. Aku nampak video pun aku just bersalah. Like bersalah. Yang aku post tu pun aku just a few snippet yang aku just share lah. And I was telling myself, aku takut kalau aku share benda salah. So I had to make sure macam tak ada muka orang ke whatever, you know. Dan kalau aku nak post muka orang pun make sure they acknowledge it, whatever. It was really bad lah, bro. So aku just carry on with the misi banjir dengan Ain. Then we met friends. Then kat Shah Alam was rabak. Shah Alam lagi tak boleh masuk, kena ada boat. Then we sooner or later we get people DM aku semua nak fund tau, nak want to contribute. And I told Ain, okay lah, since we had time, is why don't we just do a self fund, macam whoever that want to contribute, we will kita just be open of how much we're getting. Then we buy whatever is needed. Sewa buat all these things, GCP kita sewa semua. And that was our intention, if let's say we get that funds lah. So within couple of days or almost a week, aku tak expect I get over almost 100,000 ringgit. I converted. So because aku ada bank Malaysia dengan Singapore, so I can always transfer to the local bank, aku convert lah. Almost 100k. And I told myself, this is not my money. I mean, in all honesty, in all honesty, ini kita manusia. Kita time tu tak ada duit. Tiba-tiba dapat 1,000. Kalau kita guna pun bukan orang tahu. Betul. Gentle. So aku to myself, I'm just gonna use it. Everything. Hak aku. So aku guna. sampai kan ada masa aku tak terkira. Aku tahu myself, kalau aku guna duit aku tak apa, aku guna je. Aku sewa sebanyak mungkin. Aku beli baju sekolah budak-budak semua. Aku just sewa. Aku sewa 2 GCB all this thing untuk clearkan apa. Because I mean it almost goes political.
I saw.
Yeah, because people macam thought that aku with lain punya. I told them firmly. I said I'm just myself. Donated by random, Astro people wanted to interview aku semua. I said I don't want. I said I don't want attention. This is not for attention. This is really
that's
for help.
Yep.
So aku just get my team. They kau interview team aku. Let them say, because I don't want to be known. So I just did my best. Everything, Alhamdulillah, I managed to help a lot. I managed to, Alhamdulillah, there's quite a lot of contributions being made from Singaporeans and all, and a lot of food, whatever donation drive that been used, being purchased by aku dengan tim aku. Kita pun dapat selamatkan orang, selamatkan kucing pun ada.
Oh wow.
Kau imagine ada, aku cakap kau kat level kan. Ada satu rumah dekat Shah Alam ni, owner tak ada. Kucing aja bro.
Semua kucing.
Semua kucing bro. Dalam sangkar.
Kau post yang dah penuh.
Ada yang dah mati.
Kan? I saw. Dorang because dorang dalam sangkar.
Ya, memang tak boleh. Itu memang yang kita tak dapat selamatkan. So ada yang boleh selamatkan, kita bawa kucing tu dia dekat boat, jalan ajalah. Ada baby, ada yang satu dekat flat, orang panggil nama aku. Fans. Aku jadi macam shit, orang kenal aku just have to help. Ada yang mak dengan bayi lagi. So it was that bad. And the most challenging part is you might not believe, but the most challenging part is to enter the water. It's not just water. Kita nampak dekat berita kan. Mesti masa kalau kita nampak dekat berita, mesti dalam hati kita, alamak, aku kau pun berenang, aku kau pun.
Yeah, true.
Bro, it's poisonous.
Oh really?
It's poisonous. It could cause death.
So kau cannot swim pasal nanti air kau akan termasuk.
Okay. No, not just that. Kau masuk, kau rasa kaki kau macam ibarat macam kena gigit.
Oh, kata-kata begitu.
Kata-kata rabaknya. Aku masuk, babi hutan dulu depan aku float.
Mati.
Babi hutan mati, float. Tikus besar. Air jadi very greenish. You just don't know. Bawah aku hampir kena cocok dengan motor punya apa, aku nampak sebab tak nampak bawah bro. So aku the first time aku masuk, aku cakap Ain jangan masuk, let the guys. So aku tawakal lah. If anything happen to me, ni need aku memang nak tolong. Sebab you really need some of the places kau kena keluar. Kena turun, kena pass. Orang pakai macam gayung pakai tali,
piramidi style
nak letak makanan, nak letak bantuan kan. So you have to go down. Rabak bro, sakit. Aku sampai rumah, aku feel macam what's going on with my skin, what's going on with this. Aku I got a lot of questions, but the next day aku still carry on. Aku buat je. Buat je. Kirakan aku just gagahkan diri aku lah. But I tell you, that was one of the toughest challenge. Is to be in the water with the current pushing you away, and with not knowing what's underneath.
That's the most dangerous part. Kau akan pijak, boleh puncture terus.
And kalau kau terminum, rabak. So aku tahu banyak yang mati juga. And unknowingly banyak mayat kat bawah juga. We don't know.
Poisonous.
So that was just one of the challenges yang aku takkan lupa lah. And Alhamdulillah, for Ranger aku memang sampai sekarang tak ada masalah bro.
Alhamdulillah.
Masuk air bro.
Berkat.
Tak rosak ke bengkok ke?
Bengkok ada tapi
ada kan? Aku dah nampak kau ada post bengkok ke apa?
Bengkok kat atas sebab letak boat kan. Tapi pada aku macam aku tak nak repair sebab tu kenangan.
Ya.
Kau ingat samanya. Itulah boat yang kita tolong orang, yang aku letak boat untuk tolong orang. And of course aku takkan lupa orang-orang yang donate. Mostly Singaporeans, of course, because my followers are from Singapore. Alhamdulillah bro, donation yang macam ada yang aku tak sangka, yang banyak all this thing, macam even yourself. Aku honestly just be open lah. Jufi antara paling banyak kasih. Aku was the figure, but it was unexpected. Because we can see like who really love to help, and he's the guy who really love to help. He loves charity, and it's not surprising to see him in this podcast, because I think I might not be close to him, but he's the person that I know he loves charity. So And also some of the other friends, ada yang kasih yang banyak tau. Aku jadi macam uish, you know, macam kita terkejut, you know, kawan-kawan yang aku tak rapat, yang aku terkejut
tiba-tiba timbul kan,
tiba-tiba timbul, you know. So aku gunalah benda tu, aku just for charity and everything. Alhamdulillah. After that incident, after the whole, dia punya relief tu, dia punya kepuasan you know. And sampai sekarang pun budak-budak yang apa dekat kampung yang kita mesti banjir sampai sekarang message kita,
nice.
Raya ajak jumpa, you know. And to see the house from dah tak ada sekarang dah ada siap balik. And so it's a good experience. It's a memory if you ask me. It's an unforgettable memory.
The thing is coming from my side because back then aku kat Singapore apa. So tu okay. So boleh? So coming from Singapore, aku on my end, aku only can see, aku feel so helpless. Macam, and it's so near tapi it's so far sebab kita COVID kan. So kita cannot see.
Memang tak boleh cross pun.
And then aku macam tengok kau tolong as much. Aku macam I just want to be there. I just want to be there. Apa dia? Oh, kita nak stop. Okay, you want to, you got time to do for
boleh.
Okay, can. Kita finish kat sini sebab ada banyak lagi orang tanya ni. So back then aku feel so helpless. Aku sebagai manusia ni, aku ada, bukan nak kata aku banyak duit ke apa, cuma macam Allah kasih aku ni, this is not my hand. Apa yang ada dalam duit ni sekarang, the thing orang tak faham where it comes, where apa ni, rezeki Allah tu, dalam rezeki kita ada rezeki orang lain.
Yes, betul.
People must understand rezeki Allah tu apa. Apa yang Allah kasih rezeki, semua is Allah punya actually. Pinjaman pada kita pakai apa yang kita need, and then whatever else kan, kita kasih kat orang lain. Nanti Allah akan kasih balik.
Kewajipan lah. You know, it's basically a reminder to us also. Kalau nak kata pasal duit ni memang banyak cerita kalau kita nak share.
Betul.
Sebab I mean, you won't know where the source of income actually really come from.
Yes.
Kau takkan tahu, especially when you as a singer, macam you won't know what kind of job from who that is gonna get. Aku pernah sedekah macam duit aku tinggal RM100, 2 helai, 2 piece of RM50. Aku just give it. That time aku lah, typically kita nak balik Singapore, kita kena isi minyak Touch and Go. Dekat lepas Sungai Besi tu ada BHP petrol, you know. So aku dah settle everything. Aku have that RM100. Aku just give it to this makcik jual keropok dekat luar petrol station. Kasih dia. And aku rasa kalau bilang kau akan tahu, aku after 1 week aku dapat show Compass. That was my first Compass.
Compass tak ada, jarang tu nak pakai kita.
And it's a lot bro. It's $5,000.
Right.
You know, aku macam aku tak pernah dapat job begini. It's a sudden offer for so aku bersyukur, you know, that tapi of course bila kita sedekah, kita jangan mengharap.
Yes,
true. Jangan mengharap, jangan ambil tu sebagai matematik yang di mana kau sedekah 100 kau akan expect dapat 1,000. No, it's not gonna happen that way. Because kalau kau ada that kind of niat, it's not gonna happen. Kalau kau nak sedekah, kau sedekah lillahi ta'ala, ikhlas, that's it. Because whether ada rezeki yang lebih atau it really depends on Allah. No, all you have to do is just sedekah because itu kewajipan.
Betul.
Kan? So but alhamdulillah, this is one of the story aku takkan tak share dengan orang because it really happen. Miracles happen.
You got anything to add?
Because I want to listen first.
Allah. Okay. Kita akan cut this episode for this time now, sebab kita nak kena continue lagi lah. The next episode, so korang boleh dengar the next episode insyaAllah. Jangan lupa dengarkan podcast OYK. Like and share, follow, subscribe, whatever. Kita kat Spotify, kita kat YouTube dan kita kat Instagram. Okay. Sekian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.